Hello and welcome to the Tyrants In Training podcast. I am the host, Kevin Ryan. This little podcast invites guests on to rule over their own country in any way they like. Today's guest is actor, director, screenwriter, probably more things, Cedric Gegel. Hello, Cedric.
Hi there, how are you?
I think I kind of threw this at you as, hey, do you want to do this? So, I mean, you have a fair idea what's happening.
I do, it's just going to be fun.
I was just going to ask earlier, do you consider yourself like a director or writer, actor? Which do you consider first?
Yeah, I think first I usually lead with actor because that's like what I got started in. But I try to mix all three in. I kind of have an equal love for all three, and I think in today's world you can do all three.
You can, yeah.
A couple other things, like I'm a YouTuber, football fan, full-time American football fan.
Which is your team in American football?
The Cincinnati Bengals. I got some stuff up in my office here for them.
Oh yes, I know that. I know nothing. The only thing I know is that I once tried to get actively tried to get into NFL, and I was like, okay, no, I'll start watching it. And I think I watched the Dallas Cowboys.
The Dallas Cowboys.
But I watched two games where they were winning, then heavily lost, and I was like, oh, forget it. No, picking the wrong team already.
We're pretty used to that as Bengals fans. That's kind of our
okay.
That's
so that's another.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that, because if you're doing, actually, what is your YouTube channel? Might as well plug that now.
Yeah, YouTube channel is Cedric Gegel. It's just my name. And I do reactions to music videos and live performances and kind of analyze the vocal techniques or the camera movements or the color usage in the production design or the actors' choices. So kind of try to educate and entertain with that.
That's
Fell
really
in
cool.
love with BTS, the band, the South Korean K-pop band.
Yeah.
Fell in love with them
really?
from YouTube. So
were you a bit surprised by that?
I thought, well, they're popular, so I'll give them a listen, and they're my favorite band now. So
really,
they really impressed me. But I've gotten to discover some incredible music from across the world with this.
Do you think that you really like in BTS now? Like, have you listened to more bands that are like that?
Yeah, I've gotten to do some other reactions that are K-pop, and I don't really listen to music with words much to begin with. I mostly listen to film scores because screenwriting.
Because that's what.
I don't have the focus to listen to anything with words, but they're just so well produced and well written, and they're all such good singers that I find when I'm driving, I'll put on some K-pop. I like it a lot. Yeah.
I noticed that with writers. Most writers do get very into film scores, don't they?
Yeah,
you can tell who's a writer when they start naming out oh, my favorite music is Thomas Newman, and you're like,
it's Thomas, Harry Gregson Williams.
Yeah. As on this podcast, since you're going to be ruling a country, do you think that I mean, you're doing a lot of things there, and I suppose as a filmmaker, as an actor, you have to be a bit of a people person. A lot, probably. Do you think if you ruled a country with 10 million people in it, that you would be very approachable, or would you be one of the more closed off?
I think I'd be pretty approachable. I think, you'd have to get an appointment because 10 million is a lot of people.
Yeah, just logically you can't. But do you think do you think you'd have your home not within walking distance, but it's not in the middle of nowhere?
No, I'm not gonna I wanna live, where I'm supposed to be. If I'm a person of the people, I want to live among them for sure. Nice house. I'm not saying I'm gonna live in a cabin or something, but
the last episode I have recorded was Celine, who did go straight for a cabin. Most people do go for cabins. Yeah, so I wonder if you're more approachable, will that be beneficial or will it harm you later on?
We'll see what you throw at me and find out, huh?
I'll start into it now. So usually the first question, or when the first question asked, is we have to pop up your island out of the water. So where in the world would you set your home?
This is complex because I hate winter. I don't like how dark it gets, and I'm not a big fan of cold. I like snow well enough, but I don't like the cold.
Yeah.
That said, I also dislike summer. I'm a big fan of spring and fall. I really like, 50 to 75 degrees is my sweet spot. So
right.
I'm going to say it's going to be somewhere probably, middle of the hemisphere, not too close to the equator, right? Because I want kind of temperate situation, sort of LA type weather maybe. But I don't want to be out near California. There's earthquakes there. I don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
So we're going to say in the middle of the Mediterranean. That's where I want my island to be.
When you said about LA, I went to LA once in November, and I was sitting here in Ireland, and I was like, right, I'm going over there for a week. God, and it was lashing rain, really cold in Ireland. And I went, okay, I'll go over. And I went over in just jeans. I only brought over jeans. I didn't bring shorts or anything. And I arrived there, and my God, I nearly melted on the sidewalk. Just I couldn't understand. And then I got back, and a week later, that was when there was fires all around LA, and I was like, what the hell is wrong? It was November.
Yeah. I went there once over spring break with my mother to tour grad schools. And I'm from Ohio, so I was living in Ohio at the time, and I was out there in LA. It was February, and it was amazing. It was 70, 80 degrees every day, sunny, no clouds. It was beautiful. And then we flew back, and we didn't know there had been a blizzard in Ohio.
Right.
So we flew back, and our car was just under like 2 feet of snow in the airport parking lot, and that was a really rude awakening to come back to. Did not like that.
So because I don't know, how the weather would usually be in Ohio, but if you were setting your island, so will we say it's kind of on the same line out towards the Atlantic? And
I'd want to go further south, I think.
Oh, okay.
But can I put it in the Mediterranean? Can I just plop it down in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea?
Wherever there's water. Yeah.
That's very temperate. I just want the middle of the Mediterranean.
Near like Malta and somewhere like that.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Sure. Do you know? Yeah, we put it there. Usually I tell people that, look, we're going to have 10 million people on the island. We'll assume population is fine. There's enough room.
Yeah.
That's all fine. So do you have any idea what name you'd call it?
Oh man. That's complex. What would I call it?
We can move on. We can nail that down later, whatever you want.
I think we'll call it Naboo. It's from Star Wars.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a beautiful planet. We got to call it Naboo.
Is that the Queen Amidala's home world?
Yeah. It's
right.
Yeah.
Would you, I guess the question I have to ask is, would you invite, the actor and actress is Natalie Portman and Hayden Christensen?
Oh, they'd both be more than welcome to come.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Anybody from Star Wars is welcome to come hang out.
It might be nice to reenact that scene. Was that on Naboo?
Oh, yeah.
The sand scene.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere. Yeah.
Wait, do we have sand on this island? I don't want to.
Yeah, there's some sandy beaches. Yeah.
But we'll keep Hayden away.
Yeah, well, we don't. Yeah, I wouldn't want to make him uncomfortable.
No.
Yeah.
Instantly, he would hate this email that I sent.
Feel like I can't be here.
I've done other movies. I don't want to just. I've done other scenes. Okay.
Yeah. No. So good. I love Star Wars. Anyway.
I don't think you can copyright. I mean, you're a country. What are they going to do? Right?
What are they going to do?
Yeah.
What are they going to do? Sue me? Yeah, probably.
If they were going to sue you, what should they write down? As in, what are they calling you, or what do you want to call yourself? What's your official title?
The most magnificent sanctuary of the Naboo.
Wait, sorry. I hope you did hear right, but just in case, I meant, what is your official title?
Oh, my official title.
Yeah. Do you want to be known as the most magnificent sanctuary? Or okay. That would be fantastic. That would be my favorite. That would be an
incredible title. But mine would be the most celebrated pump. That would be my name. I want to be the most celebrated pump.
So if someone comes in, and you said there about getting an appointment, I'm just writing these down. If the citizen comes in, are they meant to refer to you as most celebrated pump? Hiya, I'm Jim.
Well, yeah, they can. I mean, they can call me the M.C.P.
Oh, M.C.P. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Even if they're really like, if I know them, but M.C.P. is the more semi-formal. Yeah. I'd say the pomp and circumstance, but the reason they're coming to visit me is the circumstance. So I'm just the pomp.
Right, I get it. Yes, so M.C.P. is kind of, you can kind of either, depends how how well you know. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to refer as M.C.P. Because cool. I think we have, I think I've
I feel that
gone into the inner circle enough.
We're on that level, yeah.
Cool. What is your just when you're making public appearances, what's your official garb, your clothes?
Usually it's going to be a suit.
Suit.
Gotta dress up.
So is that just like, is there any particular color, or are you changing color depending, let the press kind of speculate?
Yeah, the rule is, we can't be boring. so it can't just be like a black suit with a blue tie. Like you got to do something. There's always got to be something flashy, whether there's like a lapel pin that kind of references what we're doing, or whether it's a fun tie, or you know, a suit, like a jacket, but instead of like a tie, like over the shirt, there's a scarf. Like we're gonna do something. It's got to be fun. It's got to be unique every time.
Just for the occasions where you might need to go onto television, do you have any, when you go onto television, to speak about some national emergency, do you have a particular dress style you want us to, like, he's wearing that type of tie, oh, it's serious, you know?
Yeah, I think it's usually going to be a darker colored paisley pattern tie.
Color paisley.
You know, that way we still have that pattern that's visually appealing, but we don't want to be gaudy if there's some sort of emergency or anything.
Yeah,
we don't want to be
bit of class in the moment of crisis. Yeah,
exactly.
Okay. So now the big questions are out of the way.
The most important aspects of ruling a country.
The little things
done. We did it.
Your country is set up. All the construction's been done. We're just going to have people come into the country now. So anyone who looks to join us, is there any rules around anyone allowed in? Is everyone allowed in, whoever they want, or are we stopping people at the border?
Well, I think, you know, there has to be some sort of situation where you're processing people because it's an island. You know?
Yeah. I just want to let the border guards know.
Quick is going to be, it's going to be real quick. But certainly, you know, we're not going to discriminate against anybody.
Sure.
You know.
I mean, we can say. I mean, you mentioned there about Star Wars, and I mean, if they're showing up in a place called Naboo, with Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman there for a while, I presume they like Star Wars. But are we stopping people who don't like Star Wars, or the people who think Stargate is much better? Or
no, I mean, if they like Stargate or Star Trek more, that's a welcome thing.
Right.
I think the one thing that we would say is, like, you know, there has to be, I don't think you can sort of sign anything about it, but there sort of has to be just a generally agreed upon consensus of no violence or anything like that. You know, you gotta, and respecting other people's opinions, like even among Star Wars fans, right? If somebody says they're a big Star Wars fan, there's a lot of disagreement, you know, like The Last Jedi. A lot of people really, really like it, and a lot of other people are wrong. And you know, we're gonna accept the people that don't like it, despite their clear flaws as humans. And their inability to even concede that it's one of the greatest films ever made, ever, of all time, obviously.
Did you, just on Star Wars and stepping outside my official duties, I just found interest for myself when I watched The Force Awakens first, right? I really liked it in the cinema. I was like, yeah, love it. Very good.
Yeah.
And then when I watched it at home a couple of years later, I was more likely to go and just drift, like, no, I'm doing other things. Whereas with The Last Jedi, I watched it in the cinema and I came out of it going, and I went in to watch it. I went into the cinema to watch it again because I was waiting for Celine to finish work, and I was like, I'll just go in again. And the second time when I watched it, I was a lot more. It was pretty good, actually. Oh no, it's not nearly as bad as criticism.
I saw it the first time and I thought it was really good. I saw it the second time and I was like, no, that's really good. I saw it 4 times in theaters. I thought I think it's the second best Star Wars film out of all of them, behind Empire, which I put Empire top 5 films ever made. So
I saw something earlier, so I'll just ask, did you like Rogue One?
I did.
You? Yes, because Celine isn't a massive Star Wars fan. She's someone who, she kind of likes the idea of Star Wars, but then she never really got into the movies. And right. But I went into the cinema to see Rogue One with her, and she came out of it going, oh my God, that was amazing. Now, partly it might have just been for that one scene with Darth Vader. That is just
a really good scene.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Cool scene. Keep the movie playing. Keep the movie playing.
No, you know what I think though? Like, you know, there are things within Star Wars that I dislike. There are certain movies that I don't like as much as the other. But I love them all, and I think that's important, that, you know, even with the ones that I have flaws on, I've actually just made the conscious decision to enjoy them, because it's not worth spending the energy to dislike them.
Exactly.
And I think that's going to be something about the people of Naboo when they come to the island, is we want to have an attitude of, there's this weird thing in our society today where like people make a whole personality trait out of disliking things that other people like.
Yeah.
And that's just like so boring and lazy. So we're just going to try to have an attitude of, you can like what you like, but you don't have to take down other people's likes. Like if you don't like something, that's great. Just don't watch it.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm going to write down no downers.
Yeah. Cause that's, I don't like mushrooms. I don't like the flavor. I don't like the texture of mushrooms, but because I don't like them, does that make them less of a food? Does that make them not a good food? No, that's not what it is. It's just, I just don't like them. They're still a good food. Plenty of people still like them. I just won't consume them, and then it won't affect.
And as M.C.P, you don't really have the energy or time to be wasting on telling people how bad mushrooms are. Like,
I really don't.
Yeah, cool. All right, as people are coming in, and they all seem fairly chipper. Some of the people who've come in, they're documentary crew that have just flown in. They're just checking out the island. So when they leave the airport, they see a big billboard saying "Welcome to Naboo." We just want to make sure on the billboard, what do you want us to put on it? Like what image do you want us to put on it to give new people arriving a sense of the country?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's obviously very, very important. Is that kind of first, what is
the first impression? Yeah,
exactly. And so it says, "Welcome home." That's all it says. It doesn't matter if this is your home. It doesn't matter if you're just visiting. As long as you're there, it is home. And that's really important. And then, no, go ahead with your question.
Oh, no, sorry. I was going to say, when you said it just says "Welcome home," I was going to say, is there an image around it, or is it just?
Yeah, well, the text is pink and it's kind of a little bit bubbled. We want this kind of energy that's there with it. And then the image behind it is just, maybe they even took it. I don't know, with the documentary crew. I'm the M.C.P. I'm not involved in the nitty gritty, but someone got kind of an overhead shot of one of our forests. And that's what I want with kind of, because it's weird being in the Mediterranean, but the Naboo is the geography of this island, the topography, if you will, is much more similar to almost a fjord, where it's kind of encased in these mountains kind of on the sides. So it's this really idyllic place. And so we really want to kind of emphasize that. All the beauty of like Scandinavia, but with the climate of the Mediterranean.
So you kind of want to make it a bit of a Scandinavia Scandinavia's a region, but Scandinavia on the Mediterranean.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be outstanding.
Cool.
Yeah. Welcome home.
Yeah, no, I like the welcome home bit as well. Yeah. Where are we going to go now? Where did I go ahead of it? Oh, okay. So just in your country, we have a list here. We have a list here that I found online. I just want to ask you, what unusual list is your country atop of in the world? It is the most. It is the highest.
Naboo consumes more brownies per day than the other top 9 countries on that list combined. I mean, if you've ever thought you've had like a good brownie, you haven't had a Naboo brownie. It's just a terrific brownie.
I'm going to follow that up just to make sure, so we know what type of list it is. Do you mean the brownies you get in Ohio or the brownies you get in Amsterdam?
Oh, what are the Amsterdam brownies like?
The ones in Amsterdam will make you very hungry afterwards.
Oh, no. These are Ohio brownies.
Okay.
Although you can probably, I see what you're saying. You can probably get those brownies in Ohio as well. No, these are just straight up delicious brownies.
Straight up, yeah.
No, they're just really good brownies.
Right.
There's a lot of terrific bakeries on Naboo.
So you're kind of thinking, like, if you were thinking of chocolate, you're thinking of like, there's Swiss chocolate.
Yeah.
And then, or Belgian chocolate, sorry. Yeah. Belgian chocolate. But then you have Naboo brownies.
Yeah.
Right? That'd be.
The brownies are the specialty, but really all of our baked goods are quite extraordinary on Naboo.
So it's kind of like in Ireland, Guinness is like a world famous Irish product. So you're thinking brownies or
brownies. It's the thing.
Yeah, Naboo brownies.
Yeah.
Na brownies. Have to be na brownies, right?
Put that on the billboard.
If the brownies isn't trademarked, that's an open goal.
That was a big oversight. This is why I can't oversee all the nitty gritty, and these are the things we miss.
Actually, that's something I never bring it up until it's far too late. So I'll do it now. That with your country set up and everything, and your economy seemingly just being run by the bakery industry.
Yeah, it's a huge aspect of it.
Huge part of it. With the politics, are you letting, so the way I try and set it up for people is, you are the M.C.P. Do you want to either have just a load of people in your inner circle that you decide they're the ones who are going to run the country, the little admin stuff, or are you going to let your citizens elect 100 senators into a Senate?
Well, it's not going to be 100.
Yeah,
you know, it's not that, we're not that huge, because you think 10 million, that's a lot of people, but a lot of families, you know, younger people that aren't quite at voting age yet. And I think on Naboo, we're going to set the voting age at 16. I know a lot of different countries have different places, but I just kind of want young people to have a voice. And I feel like having the vote be younger might engage them to come out and start voting earlier.
Yes.
Still being in high school or secondary school, I guess we're going to call it high school because that's, you know, what we called it when I was growing up. You're still learning history. You're learning about elections. So let's have you participate in them. That's
Do you want us to cut off voting at any point? We can do that. No. Okay, fine.
I want voting to be continued.
Yeah.
And you know, Senate, maybe 100's good, because I'm thinking, you know, 10 million, that's a pretty big group. So let's go ahead and have 100 senators.
If we say 100, and then I mean, I'll just call it the Senate. You don't have any preference for a different name? No.
Well, I kind of want to call it to kind of honor the region that we're in. I kind of like calling it the Pantheon.
Oh yes,
that's a fun one.
Yes, Pantheon. I'll say that during there. I'll keep Senate. So you're not electing senators to the Pantheon. You're letting people vote that.
Oh yeah, gotta have the people's voice. Yeah.
Right. Okay, even if they're voting for people that are just god awful, that's
you know, we can't. You know, I mean, we can't interfere with that. It's got to be the people's
it's up to
choice.
Them.
But there's no ads or anything. I mean, you can't be putting up billboards or anything like that. I mean, you can meet with constituents, et cetera. You can have town halls. You're required to have town halls.
Right.
I, as the M.C.P, am required to have town halls.
Oh, okay. How often are we?
We're going to once a month. Required.
Okay, yes.
Required. The Pantheon can, with a 3/4 vote, they can require me to have an extra one. I mean, they can call me in front of the people.
Okay, so you're giving them a fair bit of power, yeah?
I mean, I want accountability. I think that's important. Of course, the Pantheon can also force any member of it to go before their own group with a 3/4 vote as well. So that's very, very important. I think we need to be accountable and make sure everyone's voices are heard.
So you're going to do a town hall once a month?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. We have news. Peter just came along with the mail. So I'll be honest. I don't know how to phrase this question. So just go with me. Right.
There's grace here on Naboo.
Yeah, Peter, I'm trying to be positive. Peter, he opened the mail and there's a scandal brewing about yourself, about the M.C.P.
About me? Oh,
yeah.
No.
Now, again, I don't know how to phrase this correctly, but you get to pick the scandal. So you get to decide what scandal do people find out about you that they're like, Now, I'm going to just throw in here something that I often say. This is a light entertainment podcast. So, you know, it's not you cannibalize 7 children.
That would
it doesn't have to be. I prefer
scandal
not.
Would be maybe a light word for that. I think.
Scandal is he's never seen Star Wars. Like
that would be that would be instant removal, I think.
Right.
I mean, you can't be the M.C.P. of Naboo without having seen Star Wars.
You had that whole town hall with Hayden Christensen and But you get to pick whatever your scandal is that people are going to find out.
My scandal is that I hid the existence of certain books just because I didn't like them and didn't want to hear them discussed.
Hid books.
And that's awful. I have my minor in college was in English literature. I'm a passionate reader, and I didn't ban them for any political reason. I just dislike the books. I just don't like them.
These aren't like political books?
Oh no, they're not political, not religious. No, they're just books I don't like.
Screw them. Yeah. Like fictional books.
Yeah, all fiction.
Oh God. So we don't have to say. I mean, I'm just going to put down.
Great Expectations gone.
Okay. Charles Dickens hater.
Yes.
Right.
What in the Dickens?
Yes.
Let's see. What else? What's the one? Catcher in the Rye. Get out of here.
Catcher in the Rye.
I'm not having it. It doesn't exist on my island. Sorry, not sorry. It is what it is.
Can I throw in a book that I did really enjoy and then hated instantly at the very end? Z for Zachariah.
Okay, fair enough. That's a little dark for our island. Let's go ahead and get rid of it. Yeah.
Lovely. Because the reason why I hated it,
the end's a little.
I was reading it when I was younger, and my friend came over to my house, and he was like, "Are we going to the shop? Whatever." And I was nearly finished. I was on the last 2 chapters, and I kept him standing in front of me for about however long, half an hour, as I finished reading it, going, "No, leave me alone." And then I got to the end, and it's I can't really say it. The teenage girl goes, "Oh, I'm about to leave this place and go search for my family," which was her whole thing.
Right.
And then it just goes, "Oh, hope I find them." The end.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Mother, right, forget it." So
yeah, let's have some more here going on. Yeah.
So your scandal is Bookgate.
Yeah. And that's just a sample. I'm sure there are others that I have elected to remove.
Have you banned any? Have you got rid of any fan fiction, Star Wars fan fiction that you thought, oh God?
No, we like fan fiction.
Right.
It's a good way for young authors to improve themselves and write about something they're passionate about.
Yes.
And I think it's always good for audiences to take universes into their own hands. So we're gonna keep fan fictions. I think we'll keep those around.
So I'm just gonna look up, because
we are banning Romeo and Juliet. I love Shakespeare, but we're banning Romeo and
Juliet.
Really? There's no need for that.
To see, with the scandal, we have a problem. When it came out, Bookgate, a lot of people who basically they were over the age of 90.
Yeah.
Who read Great Expectations. They're claiming a lot of these books are older books that you don't like. That's the way they're framing it. Like Romeo and Juliet. So they're trying to whip up a mob against you. So what we figure is we need to put you on TV to kind of answer, in
a darker paisley tie.
Yes, maybe that should be your suit. So it's going to be one of those situations where you're sitting in front of the interviewer, two of you sitting in a chair, and the interview is going to ask, why did you do what you did? So what lame, easily see through political bullshit excuse do you give to fend off criticism?
I made a mistake, an error in judgment, and I'm trying to learn. And I'm sorry if any of you were offended. I'm trying to make this as lame as possible. I'm using all
yes.
I'm sorry if any of you were offended or hurt. I apologize to old Billy Shakes for removing his play about 2 13-year-olds that should probably just talk to literally anyone else around them instead of making these rash decisions, or Pip, who is a character we can hardly even root for because he's so boring.
Right.
And frankly, honestly, if you want me to apologize right now in this interview, then I'm just going to say my expectations for Great Expectations were not, in fact, great. They were very low, and it somehow failed to clear them. So if you want me to apologize, you're going to have to keep waiting. Go eat a brownie and get a life. Read a better book.
My God, this has gone terrible.
I'm sorry, but I'm allowed to dislike things, and somebody decided to ban discussing disliking things on this island. So I just decided to ban the things I disliked. And honestly, if it was just those 3, seems like we got off kind of lucky. So maybe we should all just relax.
Okay, so just as me speaking as the advisor, I'm just looking off at the sideline as the other advisors are kind of panicking, trying to cut the interview. So the interview is saying, well, that doesn't really seem like an apology. It seems like you're attacking literature. Do you think that is a fair thing for other people to do? Because a lot of senators are looking to ban autobiography of BTS.
I hear that. I'm not attacking literature as much as I am attacking the mythos.
You're not attacking literature as much, is what I'm going to write down as the headline.
As much as mythos.
As much.
I will decrease the amount that I attack literature. No, it's you know what? And here's my thing is, like I said before I sort of let my emotions take control, and I think that's what people like about me is I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'm passionate about things.
Right.
But I made an error in judgment, and I will allow those books to come into the island, and people can enjoy them, and that's on me. And I made a mistake, and I didn't live up to the standard that I had asked other people to live up to, and I failed in that aspect. And
is there any other books that we don't know about that you've been burning?
No, we didn't burn any books. I want to clarify something.
Oh.
We didn't burn any books.
What did you do with the books?
There was
Mr.
a
M.C.P.
journal that I had only written one page in, which I had only written my name on, but I was out of firewood, and I wanted to have s'mores. So I did burn that book. I just, in case anyone finds out, it was just an empty journal, just so you all know. Because I know Brian over there on the sidelines, he was there. I don't want him to leak it, so I'm just going to tell you that right now.
Okay, so why don't you
burn any books?
Okay.
Oh, I don't trust Brian. Brian knows why.
Right. Okay.
Brian always remembers.
Right.
But outside of that, no, we didn't burn anything. There's no other books that were banned.
What did you do with Great Expectations? What did you do with Romeo and Juliet?
I just left it at home. I just said, don't bring any of these in.
So you've been hiding books from the public, is what you're saying?
No, I just left them at home.
Away from the public eye.
Well, most things in my home are away from the public eye.
No, but I mean, all the books in the country have been banned.
My toilet into the front lawn.
All of the copies of Romeo and Juliet have been wiped out of the island or have disappeared.
Well, we thought they were bring them on. We just didn't bring any in.
So you have them on a boat off the coast of Naboo?
No, they weren't even. We didn't even order any shipments of them.
But people who've been trying to smuggle them in have been detained.
No one's even tried. We've been keeping. I did have one. I had Brian keeping tabs on it, and he said no one's even looked at these. No one's even Googled them.
As you know, Brian's a bit lackadaisical.
Brian sucks. I think we all know that. And that's on you, District 18, for voting for him.
So there has been many attempts from.
Yeah. Oh, there have.
Yeah. That's what this special report coming up next is suggesting. There have been mafia gangs from southern Italy. From southern Italy bringing, because they're close by. But yeah, you said no book burning. So I think that's
we're not burning it. So they've been smuggling them onto the island?
Yes, yeah.
Well, I would very much like
by gunpoint
the smuggling to stop, but we will open them up to be able to be ordered. You don't have to smuggle them anymore.
So you're legalizing the smugglers?
We're going to ban smuggling onto the island. That seems like that should be illegal.
But you're legalizing the people who've been smuggling books in so they can now do it legally?
No, I'm just going to accept the books that have already been brought in. We're just not, we're not going to burn those. You're just allowed to keep them. Okay.
So you're not burning the new books, is what you're saying. The old books are still open for debate to be burned. Okay, so that's great. Thank you, M.C.P, for
I want to clarify something.
Yeah, sorry, we have 10 seconds.
There will be no books. Brian, can you come over here?
Oh God. Okay. Thank you very much. We're going to move on to our special report about Southern Italian mafia gangs bringing in Romeo and Caesar. Romeo and Caesar. It was a knockoff copy.
That's one of the fan fictions.
Yeah. People don't know. So okay, I think that went very well.
That one's actually by Dickens. Yeah, weirdly.
That was his fan fiction days. Okay, I think that went very well. Brian's not too happy, but he gets like that, so he might be back.
You think Brian's not too happy? Brian and I have to have a talk.
Yeah. So what I never mentioned actually is probably should have set this up sooner, but where do you want to live? Where are you?
Yeah, so there's a nice kind of winding river through the fjord, and sort of toward the top of it. Rivers don't have tops, but sort of where it comes down from the waterfall. There's a nice. There's a national park up there. 80% of the island, by the way, is national parks.
Right.
Is nature preserves, which is something we all certainly agreed on.
Yeah.
But sort of near there, I've got a nice, 2-story, almost a cottage. Smaller house, nice garden in the back. Kind of a private sitting, writing area. But I just live in that neighborhood. Kind of neighborhoods that wind throughout.
Do you think you'll do a lot of your government duties at your house? Like, is there an office there, or are you going to go into the capital, which I assume is kind of close by enough?
It's not terribly far, but I'm going to do a decent amount at home. We can have some meetings there and stuff like that. lot of people over at the Capitol building. So
are you doing anything in regards to like, do you have a Supreme Court, or are you the final judge on cases?
Oh no, we have a court. Yeah,
you're not.
definitely.
You're kind of hands off on that regard.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have five justices, which are not, by the way, called justices.
Ooh, what are they called?
Capricorns.
Yeah. Any particular reason why Capricorns?
We held a poll
right.
of what we should name them, but we only asked 7 and 8 year olds, and we only gave them 3 options, and it was Capricorns, really scary things, and chores were the 3 options, and so they went with Capricorns.
So the actual options were, do you want to call them really scary things?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And chores. Yeah.
It's interesting that
I had Brian develop the list. I gotta stop working with Brian.
I remember Brian actually said to me in the office one day, he said, the real fascinating thing about this vote is that you would think, like, there's 5 men that we showed them pictures of the 5 men, 5 people. Yeah.
5 highly qualified individuals.
Yeah. In there, are they wearing the same sort of judge robes and the usual?
No.
Casual?
It's not quite, I don't want to say casual necessarily, but they're kind of more cloaks than robes. They're kind of like they kind of pin up here and kind of flow down.
Right.
Underneath they're all sort of in a basically think of the cloaks as a snuggie.
Right. Yes.
And then underneath they're just in sweats, because you can't really see that all that well. So they're just kind of in, whatever. But they're kind of in really nice, refined snuggies.
Okay, cool. Is there any age limit on them? Because you said like 16 is the voting age. Is there any?
You got to be 30 to be one of the Capricorns.
30? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Because law school.
Yeah, it's going to take you a few years anyway.
Yeah.
So in Naboo, what seemingly mundane thing is banned in your country? So what's banned that probably isn't banned anywhere else in the world?
Cars.
Really? Cars?
Yeah. We banned
none
cars.
Of them. Is
pretty much any motorized vehicle. The only ones we have are like emergency vehicles. We have, fire truck, ambulance.
Do you want us to try and make them like as electric car?
Yeah, they're electric.
You want them. So yeah, if the cast of Star Wars come along and they need to get around, how are we kind of getting them about without them feeling inconvenience? If the cast of Star Wars or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I don't really care if they feel inconvenience.
Lovely. Yes, and I will make that clear to them. That is, don't you worry. Brian is on it.
They can feel inconvenienced because I hope that the fresh air that they're breathing revitalizes them from their feeling a bit put out.
It's like soup. The air is just, it's so fulfilling.
I do love soup.
So we transferred after the little debacle at the bookgate. Brian, he asked to transfer over to the Department of Defense or War, whatever you want to call it.
We turned that down, right? We said no to that, right? We didn't let Brian go to the Department of.
Honestly, our email wasn't working that day, so we never got any response back. No, but Brian's over there. He's doing fine. Everyone seems to like him.
He?
Yeah, he shows up early.
Okay.
But he's after getting an email in from the UN. The UN is after telling us that World War III just broke out.
Bad news.
Yeah.
Really
UN figured, look, the only way we're going to get around this is if every country in the world goes to war with another country. So Naboo has to, you have to pick.
We just have to go to war with someone.
You have to go to war with someone. What country do you want to go to war with? And like, what do you what? Oh, lovely. Yeah, you were.
They're giving up.
If I was timing these episodes, that is definitely the fastest anyone has ever immediate. So what are you telling your citizens? Why? What? I'm just going to play the part of the citizens.
Switzerland they just kind of concede. That's kind of what they're known for, right?
I thought they were known for being neutral, not necessarily conceding.
They're going to stay neutral. So we're going to declare war.
Oh no, but
hey, we're neutral, and then we're going to be like, well, can we be neutral? And they'll be like, yeah, truce, and we'll be like, truce, yeah, our bad. We just had to.
Right.
They're gonna get it. I mean, our Secretary of State, Lauren, she's gonna call Switzerland, Bjork over there, and Lauren and Bjork are gonna I mean, they're gonna know, like, it's gonna be a whole thing. We have to do it for the ceremony of it, for declaring war, but like,
she's gonna smooth things over. Lauren will go in there.
And if the UN raises a big fuss about it, because apparently they want war, then Liechtenstein.
That'll
be chill.
Right. I'm gonna write down Liechtenstein even just as a backup, because as I said, honestly, Bjork in Switzerland, he heard your declaration and your reason of, because we're gonna win, they're losers.
That's not what I said, though.
Oh, I mean, you said they.
I mean, I know there's a language barrier, but Bjork is too smart for that.
Brian was translating.
I was translating.
He's the only Swiss-speaking man in the government. I'm sorry.
You inept moron. Then send Lauren over with Google Translate. I don't care. Just don't put Brian anywhere near.
Brian's the only. Sorry, he speaks so many different languages. He's very competent in it. It was the main reason he got the jobs.
He's an idiot.
So, because I think, and I mean, I'll be interested enough to check this later, but I think Switzerland have, like, in history, an elite guard that were like,
oh sure,
seriously, kick ass.
I don't want to fight them,
but you're going there because you would
uninterested in this. No, I'm going there because we would just call it a truce and
right. So
we'd all sup together.
So Brian is going to get onto the generals and tell them to send the army.
No.
Well, I mean,
Brian is being reassigned.
Oh, where
Brian
would
Brian's gonna go sweep some leaves somewhere.
Brian is being put into purgatory. Sweep leaves. Where is he sweeping leaves? I just make sure he knows.
Down on the path, up by Schulman's bakery.
So you're going to crush this guy's spirit?
No, he's got to sweep it, because we can't have leaves if we're about to declare war. He needs to know.
He has to sweep leaves for the whole country.
I don't want people to feel like, if they can't sweep leaves off the sidewalk, how can they win a war? What Brian's doing is a situation of national morale.
In a country with, you said, 80% national forest parks, he has to sweep every leaf off a sidewalk. And you don't think that's a little bit, and I can't remember the guy's name, the Greek god pushing a boulder up a cliff can never...
Sisyphus?
Yeah, you don't think you're turning Brian...
Okay, but
to a
Kevin,
Greek tragedy.
As one of my closest advisors, you gotta, like, 80% national parks. That's a lot of leaves.
Brian is a lot of man, but I don't know, is he going to be able to do this?
Brian can hire a team to help him.
Oh, so he's in charge of national parks. Okay.
I'm not just no, he's not. No, he's not in charge of national parks. That's worse than him being in charge of the Department of Defense.
But he's in charge of a team.
He's in charge of a team getting leaves off of a sidewalk.
They clean. Okay, so he's in charge of cleaning
leaves off of the sidewalks.
Okay, okay. Leaves off sidewalks. What if they go into the street? Does he leave them, or
no? He leaves them.
He leaves. I will make sure he gets that pun.
Because then Jurgen's gonna come down, and Jurgen's got them on this.
Oh, so we're really compartmentalizing this whole operation.
Yeah, I mean, come on, I can't trust Brian with the street.
Right? Okay.
Stupid.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
You just say yes. I am stupid.
No, M.C.P. I absolutely not. I was just looking to see where the army is, because they were heading off. They have to show some bit of effort to go to war. We also, Lauren also gave a quick ring to Liechtenstein to say, watch your back.
Good. Did she use that phrase, or did she add the whole, like, we don't want to do any of this thing?
Did she put that in at the end? Do you know at the end of your email where you say, like, kind regards? Yeah, she put that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
As long as it was in there.
It was in there somewhere. Legally, you're fine.
Because the watch your backs thing is cool, because they're, like, right by Switzerland, and we all know Swiss watches. So what they don't expect is we're going to present them with watches as a, hey, none of us fought together.
Liechtenstein, who are you providing? Liechtenstein, you're providing
with Swiss watches.
Swiss watches. Actually, I was going to ask next, what country you'd consider an ally, but I guess you're kind of saying Liechtenstein a little bit.
Yeah, and Switzerland, Canada for sure.
So Switzerland is your ally, but your enemy.
No, because this is all planned. This is it's a maneuver, if you will,
around the UN's law on starting.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got good news.
Yeah.
That your birthday is coming up.
Good. That is good news.
Yeah, I mean, you probably know that already, to be honest.
I did.
That,
yeah. Weirdly, my twin sister's birthday is also coming up. But
that is amazing. We should have a birthday for her and yourself if you want.
Thing.
So
more for her.
The citizens actually wanted to know. Actually, would your twin sister be on the island, or would she be like, "Nah, I'll go to America"?
I think she comes for our birthday.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, she's got a nice house in Alabama. I don't think she's moving to Naboo.
Oh, she's not going to move?
No.
The citizens are actually just asking. They went up to Brian, and Brian just didn't want to hear anything. Brian is
not a people person.
Not anymore. That guy.
We finally beat it out of him.
Yeah. He was being asked by the citizens what celebrations should be organized for the people on your birthday to celebrate you.
Well, brownies for starters.
So
there's a whole thing. It's like a potluck, where everybody makes a dish. We kind of want that. So there's just an island-wide potluck, which is incredible. Everybody makes their favorite dish, and then all the bakeries will make their best brownies.
Yes.
Half of them will make their best brownies. We hold a competition every year.
Yes.
And then there's votes, and the top, let's say there's 100 bakeries. I lose track again, nitty gritty. Yeah, I can't keep track.
The brownies has gone mad.
Jesse's the bakery ambassador, so she knows.
Yes.
But
this cast is getting wider. I need to start writing names. Genuinely have an administration to look after now.
It's the whole thing. So the top 50% of the bakeries will do brownies, and then the other 50%, which are still quite good. Okay, the bottom 50% of bakeries on Naboo are the best bakeries anywhere else. They can make like their signature dish, whether it's like a lemon bar or a cherry pie or
variety,
whatever. Yeah, so we want variety. So that's kind of the whole thing. Is we have this big celebration, and the national orchestra plays like a compilation of film scores. And there's like there's a dance, like everybody, we can kind of dance and hang out, and board games aplenty. There's board games everywhere, and it's just like a 3-day long just party where we all just hang out.
The Pantheon, some of the older members of the Pantheon, Fred, who's 107, he has led a contingent.
I love Fred.
Fred is he's a dote. He has come along to one of the big tents there with a 20-foot brownie. Now, unfortunately,
is he carrying it himself?
No, God, no, God, no. Honestly, we're carrying him at this point. We are looking after Fred. Unfortunately, and he says he had nothing to do with it. But when we started biting into this brownie and getting it all cut up and everything, there was actually a lot of books, a lot of Great Expectations copies within it.
Within the brownie.
Yeah, that it seemed to be a political stunt, to be honest. That people are. Now, the other thing is there was a lot of burnt books, particularly the autobiography of BTS. So that was also a little dig, apparently. So I don't know if you.
So they burned the autobiography of BTS and then baked it into.
Yeah.
Jeez. I mean, I think the initial thing with the pages of Great Expectations, that's kind of like chuckle worthy, but it is kind of a waste of 20-foot brownies, but not 20-foot brownies, 20-foot brownies.
Yeah.
Jeez, that would be a lot of brownie. The burned BTS biographies is a little bit much, but I think it's safe to assume that Fred just accidentally left the oven on too long.
Honestly, I don't think he actually baked it, to be fair. Like there was about 20 of them in the Senate who came along with it. Fred was just doing the talking.
Fred was just doing the talking. Well,
he was just saying,
what
listen,
I think we do? I think we just laugh it off and
let him off.
Whatever. You guys, it's kind of a dumb prank. We will purchase an equivalent number of BTS biographies, as many as they burn, because that's not cool. We'll kind of admonish them for that, like, hey, we don't do that here. But the real joke
not anymore,
of course, because that's right. Well, we never did.
Okay, sorry.
But the closing night of the party, BTS is actually performing, so
lovely,
on them. Bringing them in.
The judges or anything like that, or the police, do you want us to investigate what happened or leave it?
Nah, I mean,
no.
what do they want with that? They want attention, right? They want to call
Right,
attention
right.
to that. So like, you know what? I'd rather have them get their attention by, I don't know, passing meaningful legislation and helping the citizens of Naboo instead
Right.
of with stunts and ruining brownies.
Yes, there was also, okay, we haven't confirmed these reports, but apparently a lot of brownies were run over last night at 3 a.m.
Run over.
They run over by a diesel car.
Why is there a diesel car on the island?
Listen, we haven't seen it. Someone said they heard a noise that sounded like diesel. They can't really remember what diesel sounds like, but
I heard a diesel car outside.
Yeah.
It's very specific noise.
Yeah. Do we look for that, or do we just go, no, it's nonsense? Well, we did see tire marks, but that could be from...
Yeah, just follow the tire marks. I think.
Follow the tire marks. Lovely. Okay.
We'll eventually find the truck, and if not, we'll just hang tight, and someone will see it, and we'll arrest the driver and get rid of it.
Okay.
I mean, the ruined brownies are a shame, for sure, but if no one was hurt, then the most important thing is finding the individual.
Sorry, there was people hurt.
What?
Sorry.
You got to lead with that, Kevin.
No, sorry, the
captain.
No, Captain Adam.
Oh,
no, he was saying it. No, he led the report with a couple of brownies stopped, maybe diesel engine, question mark. Have to find out.
Adam's new.
Adam, 48 people have been clipped. It's just written on here. I think their arms got clipped by the car. They're fine.
Okay.
But
they're all fine. They're hurt.
They're in hospital, but they'll be out in a week.
Well, I'll go visit them for sure.
All 48?
Yeah.
Perfect. No, you don't want to leave off any of them?
No, not even Brian, who was probably on the sidewalk and got clipped.
No, Brian's fine. He's still there. I mean, at this point, he gives people a weird look. When you look at him, he doesn't really talk much, but he's still doing the job.
The plan is working.
He's hired 98 people.
He's fired 98 people?
He's fired 98, but he's hired 2,070.
That is too many to be cleaning the sidewalks.
Minus 98. So yeah, he tried to get it below 3,000.
All right. Well, why don't you send Ajax down there and we'll reassign those people. We'll find them new positions, but we don't need that many people.
Now, in my mind, Ajax is like 7 foot tall and huge. So he's Ajax...
he's actually 5'3".
But he will mess people up.
No, yeah, he's still like 286 pounds all muscle, but he's 5'3".
Ajax sort people out.
Yeah.
Right. Get rid of the weak.
Ajax. Cool dude.
Okay. Your heavy is going down there. So just with the whole book stuff and a bit of issues going on, we kind of figure maybe Lauren suggested we get a photo op for you. Do you know how in North Korea you have your man Kim Jong-un?
Yeah, my favorite, my buddy.
Oh, I didn't mean your man, literally. Yeah, but hey, if he's your buddy, fine. I'll put it out. Press release. Lauren will get that out.
We have plenty of disagreements with the gentleman.
But you're buddies. Good.
That's,
so
whatever he wants to think.
This mic is being recorded, so that was picked up by the international press. That's
fine.
I was going to say, oh yeah, you know how when they put out a press release or a photo op, it's usually him in a factory kind of pointing and going, oh, he's pointing out how to solve healthcare.
Sure.
Putin sits on a bear, right?
Which is, by the way, a cool photo op. Okay, let's leave all the political issues with
objectively
either gentleman aside. One of those is a distinctly cooler photo op.
Objectively, you can see the good framing of that.
Yeah. You're like, that's intelligently framed.
So we Lauren said maybe we should have a photo op for yourself, just with all the kind of issues. So what do you want us to do? What type photo do you want?
We're doing a kick line for sure, and I'm in a sequined tux,
like a Broadway.
Yeah.
Everyone hands. Yay.
Yeah.
So where are you? Are you on a stage or are you on?
Yeah, on a stage.
Oh, right. Do you want to do a full Broadway
spectacular
musical?
Yeah.
So you want to do a musical?
We write one every year. The government commissions a new musical every year.
Nice. Do you have any ideas for names or topics?
Well, this year's is quite fascinating, actually.
Right.
It's about a young man named Jared who's building a chimney, but he has no bricks, and so he can only use Jello. And obviously that doesn't go overly well.
Yes.
Yeah.
That sounds. I mean, that's another cat coming into the picture.
Yeah, that's okay. And the title of the musical, of course, is Wiggle Wiggle Chimney.
Wiggle Wiggle Chimney. Lovely. Yeah. So are you acting in this wiggle chimney, or are you just coming on for that moment?
You
that
know,
one song?
I'd love to be acting in it, but this is kind of the opening ceremony. We kind of do a
Ah,
whole,
yes.
we sing the national anthem and do a kick line to open it, and then
Yeah.
I still do cameos in some films from time to time, but being the M.C.P, the is very busy business. So
Actually, now that you mentioned about doing movies, because I know a former U.S. president was in Home Alone too.
Yeah.
How do I have it phrased? What franchise would you star in as a cameo? Which?
Paddington.
So you'd be in like Paddington, I don't know how many, Paddington 4.
Paddington 3, Paddington 4, Paddington 5, Paddingtons. I'd be in all of them. Yeah.
What character would you be in that cameo? Well, I suppose you're really yourself, but what role?
I could be me. I could be, I could talk to Brian about how to sweep sidewalks and do that in one.
So you're bringing Brian along into Paddington?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, sorry, I thought
but
I'd cheer him up.
No, I don't want that.
No, okay.
No, it's kind of a Stan Lee type thing where I'm just kind of in.
Yes, the
certainly
Watcher.
I'd love to be in Star Wars, but that might be a little too on the nose.
Yes.
Plus, I want to be a major character in that. I'm not going to waste my time.
Right. So are you actively pursuing the major character in Star Wars while running the country?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yes.
And that was a condition. I mean, everyone knew that when I was elevated, so it's not.
You might be away for a while.
Yeah.
Filming. Yeah. Do you want us to get on to Disney and say, do they want to film any scenes in Naboo?
Yeah. No. Yeah? Our tax credits here are incredible.
Right. There are no tax. They're fully.
We have a $1 billion tax credit situation every year.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty outstanding.
That is fine. Sorry, I was looking at some bad news coming in from Captain Adam.
Adam, you're killing me, man.
He's after investigating that whole incident.
Oh, the diesel truck. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
He said it looks like it might have been diesel. Honestly, I don't know enough about cars, so I'm going to pretend it's diesel, but I could be wrong. Right?
Yeah, that's okay.
He said he's tracked down the car.
Yeah.
They're waiting for fingerprints, but it's a Nissan Leaf. So there you go. There's the model of the car.
Good to know.
There was a lot of scribbled notes in it saying,
Sure.
I'll be back.
Okay.
M.C.P. ain't got nothing on me.
Uh-huh.
And there was a box load of leaves in the boot.
Right.
So do you want us to do anything with that, or do we just keep?
Yeah, we're gonna arrest Brian first.
So Brian is immediately arrested. Right, lovely.
Brian,
okay.
I mean, he's the obvious suspect, right?
Yes. Okay. Now we are dragging him off them streets. Ajax, who has beaten up half of the 2,070 workers.
Why did Ajax beat them up?
Because you said send them down to sort people out.
I said to get them new jobs.
Oh, sorry, I wrote sort people out. Sorry. That's
You are the worst advisor I have ever had.
Honestly, I'm just the voice inside your head. I'm not even a physical person in this administration.
Good to know.
I cannot be fired or demoted in any way in any episode. That's the great thing about this.
This is really bad because I've been seeing you and talking to you out loud for like an hour. So
yeah, I quickly realized that I could get in trouble for these decisions. That's why I'm happy to let Brian do stuff. But yeah, so 1,300 people are bruised and stuff over Ajax.
Hospitalized, yeah.
And hospitalized, yeah, sure, we can hospitalize him. Ajax has hospitalized him now. He has helped Captain Adam arrest Brian. Brian is screaming.
No, he hasn't. I have. Ajax has been arrested by me.
Ajax has been arrested too.
Ajax, yeah, he hospitalized 1,300 people.
Under your orders, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ajax.
he's going to jail. Ajax
jail time. So Captain Adam went down.
What a horrible crime he's committed. It's terrible.
So Captain Adam went down to the scene to arrest Brian, who was sweeping the street while 1,300 of his staff were being beat up and assaulted by Ajax.
Was Ajax? I'm just trying to get an understanding of the situation. Was Ajax beating up 1,300 people at once?
It was more like in a line. It was more like take a ticket. It's a big street.
We're gonna arrest him either way, but one is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
It's the stupidest. So Captain Adam went down to arrest Brian, who was sweeping the street while 1,300 of his men were being beat up in single file by Ajax. He told Ajax what was going on. I'm going to have to arrest you. Ajax said, no, wait, I'm going to arrest Brian for you. So he manhandled him onto the ground.
Yeah.
Ajax has been arrested. More police came in. They arrested Brian. People are watching, going, what the hell is going on? Brian is crying because the street or the sidewalk is being filled with leaves again. Do I throw him in jail?
Right. No, we got to release Brian because Ajax shouldn't have been arresting him. That's a mistrial to begin with. So we got to let him out.
Oh, so now Brian is released over.
Yeah, because it's not like he committed a felony. Ajax can't just do a citizen's arrest on this. I mean,
right. I mean,
ridiculous.
Is it a citizen's? Yeah, I suppose it is.
Yeah,
I mean, he is your heavy.
Yeah, but he's not an officer of the law.
Right.
He's
now
just kind of my guy. Like, I don't go send him on hits or something. We don't do that on Naboo. I just said, go down. In fact, I told him, hey, go find these people new jobs. And he beat up 1,300 people. So we're not really Team Ajax here. So he's arrested for sure. Brian's released.
I'm pretty sure, and I'm going to look back on the recording. I might put it in here if I'm clever enough. But I'm pretty sure you said Ajax is your guy.
Team Ajax.
Okay.
Beat them up.
Ajax sort people out.
Ajax, cool dude. Yeah. I love Ajax.
It's fine. He's not anymore. He's in jail. Are we getting involved in his trial or anything, or are we letting the judges do their thing?
No, we're not providing any attorneys. We will hand over any legal documents they want. We will cooperate fully.
Right.
And we look forward to a resolution to this situation filled with peace and with justice for all the people who were victimized by Ajax's run of self-grandiosing ridiculousness, and we are ashamed to have ever even known him. And we're disgusted by his actions and look forward to a swift rolling of justice.
That's really well put. I kind of wish the media was here to hear it, but it's fine. I'll give it. Lauren will.
I just never know when you're recording or not.
Yeah, no, Lauren will give him the gist of that.
Cool. Thanks, Lauren.
So Brian is just still out in the street again, right?
Yeah, he's just out cleaning leaves.
He's requesting to hire another 1,300 people because the other 13. Okay, he's really upset by that.
That's fine. In fact, the other 1,300 people that are working for he can have a team of like 30. Okay.
So you're cutting. Okay.
Yeah, I never gave him permission to hire 2,000 people to begin with.
To be fair, it was 3,000 at the beginning. Yeah.
I don't know how many it was, but we never said that. You know what people need to do in this government is ask questions. They need to ask clarifying questions.
So I missed a question, but there is 3,000 people roughly now on the street without jobs that they're blaming you and your heavy Ajax for putting them out of work.
Not mine anymore, okay?
But yeah, I suppose.
I said to find them new jobs. He beat them up. Okay,
right.
So it's not my fault they don't have new jobs. It's Ajax's.
They said, yeah, what do we do now? You know, they're looking to you to provide new jobs. So is there do we ship them anywhere? Do we do anything with them?
Well, we're certainly not going to ship them somewhere.
Oh, I mean, whatever.
Yeah. Well, there's certainly plenty of jobs available on the island. There's always movies coming to film here with our $1 billion tax credit, and we provide a free public education as far as being a grip, a gaff, a script supervisor, a camera operator. Whatever you want to do, we provide that at the highest level possible. We bring in experts from around the world to teach these classes, and it's paid for. So that's always an option. We also have grants available that you can apply to make your own movie, so they can go and do that. Now, again, that's not going to employ everybody. So there's also situations where, first of all these people had jobs before Brian usurped.
You'd be surprised. He went. He found people who could not get jobs anywhere else and didn't want to work. He was very good at convincing people to finally.
So none of these people wanted to work.
No, they had no purpose in life. They had they had nothing.
Well, then we will give them a purpose in life, and that's why it's so important on Naboo. That's why we put so much into early childhood education and into mental health services and everything like that. We don't want anyone to feel purposeless, and so there's always going to be opportunity. Now, certainly, if they don't want to work, we can't force them to work. That's not a thing we can do. But we also don't want anybody to just be laying out in the street without anything. But I guess in this situation, when there are plenty of jobs available and these people are literally just like, no, I don't want to do that, then I guess, go for a walk in the woods.
Yeah, don't come back.
I mean, no, you can
come
back,
you can come
for
back.
sure.
Okay.
It's just like, if you're hungry, I hope we'll make sure you get some food, but we're not, we're going to encourage you to go find a job.
Yeah. Help yourself.
I mean, we're providing more opportunities than almost any other government in the world for you to get work. If you're just gonna not do that, there's not a ton we can do beyond what we're already doing.
We did get news that they are after electing, and I mean, those 3,000 people really helped. They are after electing Brian to the Senate.
Are they?
Yeah.
That's a choice.
That he's very popular man.
Putting
you
him
see,
up in the pantheon.
Yeah. It was actually, and again, I'll say it for myself, it's a life entertainment podcast, but the sad news is, and it's the saddest news I've given on this podcast so far, is Fred did pass away. Yeah. He tripped on a brownie.
No.
And
at least it wasn't a Leaf.
He tripped on a brownie and went headfirst into the Nissan Leaf. He was inspecting it.
The car. Why was he inspecting it?
He just thought, want to go see what was up.
Out of the goodness of his heart.
Yeah, he likes to be active.
That's exactly like Fred.
It's how he would have wanted to have gone.
That's head first into a car.
Into a Nissan.
Well, that's terrible, but
but Brian is the new
the new senator from the 18th.
He's actually heading the committee on leaves. So
that's good. That's a good spot for him.
He has double the size of the administration, but that's fine. Anyway, cool. We do have other news. We have good news from Paul in finance.
Yeah.
Paul is after getting on. Chill guy, doesn't really say much.
Paul's my guy.
Yeah. Now, Ajax was your guy. This isn't going to be a situation where Paul's in prison now.
It's like my guy. It's like, my pal.
Oh yeah. No, Paul is pretty cool. M.C.P. No, he came along and he said that he was doing the accounts.
Yeah.
Turns out, we actually have a lot of money. I think it's all the film industry boom and the bakery. I mean, that's worldwide.
And the brownie, because you bring in all these film crews and actors. They taste the brownies,
and they go away with all those brownies. So he said that we have a lot of money. I mean, we have enough to build a giant statue of you, for you, whatever you want. We just want to know what pose or moment from your life should we depict, or what do you want built?
As much as I appreciate the gesture of a giant statue, I think perhaps we can better spend that money maybe building some low-income housing for our 3,000 people that are choosing to not go get some jobs.
Yes.
And that construction can also provide new opportunities for them to work.
Yes.
And to earn some valuable on-the-job skills.
So do you want us, to tell these people we are building new houses? You have to build the houses. Get to it. Here's a shovel.
Certainly not. No, it's opportunities for that work.
If they want to do it.
The jobs will certainly be filled.
Right.
Somehow by somebody, and that might open up other opportunities for them to go get jobs in a different field if they aren't interested or able to do construction. We certainly can't just assume that everyone is able-bodied in this situation either.
Yeah.
I think we can probably build on a new wing to the hospital here on the island with that, and I think there are better uses for the money than of a statue. That said, if we were gonna build one, it would be me with a Yu-Gi-Oh dual disc. Because when I do pass on, I want everyone to remember that I was a very good Yu-Gi-Oh player.
Is the Yu-Gi-Oh dual disc? Because I remember watching it years ago before going to work, 9 o'clock in the morning or half it. Is it the one that's on your?
Yeah, on the arm.
Yeah. Oh yes. So you're going to have a 20-foot statue of you?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's if we were going to, but we're going to spend that money somewhere else.
Right.
I just wanted to answer hypothetically.
Oh, okay. So I'll tell Paul will be like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm just building a few hospitals, the usual kind of.
Yeah, just more useful
social projects, I suppose you call it. Yeah. Kind of Brian is after getting really popular because a lot of those 3,000 people, Brian's just been in the pantheon for a couple of months, and suddenly they all have houses. So they're kind of giving him all the credit.
Sure.
So he's after becoming the head of one of the two parties in the Senate. So there's your thing. There is apparently, by the way, Captain Adam has come along. Apparently, there's a lot more Nissan Leafs driving around.
That's bad news.
Yeah, they're running people down. People are fine. Sorry, light entertainment podcast. They're fine, but
yikes.
He means they're running them down just in a you'll never be able to get to places as fast as me, and then drive off. Not physically run them down, just emotionally.
That might be worse. Just the bullying of it.
Yeah, people are feeling a bit down about it on their bicycles.
Yeah. Well, the good news is all of those people are getting arrested because it's illegal to have a car.
Yeah,
and it's illegal to be driving. And so their car is getting taken away from them, put on a ship, and taken back to wherever they came from, and they're going to be very carless.
How long do you think?
Careless.
How severe are we getting with the penalties? Are we?
They're gonna be in jail for it's
years.
A minimum sentence of 3 months.
Oh, okay. So the start of 3 months.
Maximum is 10 years. Like if we can prove that they willfully attempted to run someone over and then worse, bullied them about it afterwards.
Yeah.
That's like a decade.
Okay. Yeah, 3 months to 10 years. We can do that. How, by the way, is Ajax in prison for around that time, or is he in longer?
Yeah, for life.
Oh, he's not allowed out.
No.
Oh, okay.
He assaulted 1,300 people. You get like 6 months for every one of them.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. So you're talking.
Because I feel like 6 months for assault is pretty lenient, right? For just beating the crap out of
to get someone into hospital. I mean,
that's
you're kind of serious.
But it's already like 6 life sentences just on that. So.
Okay, so Ajax is in a hole in the ground.
He's way
not
gone.
the ground.
Yeah.
He's gone. Okay.
Yeah. He's in trouble because he violated the Geneva Convention or something. He did. That was like a war crime. What he did.
Brian is pointing out that he was your guy that you've said on media and stuff before. So he has riled up everyone in the Senate.
Sure. Would Brian like me to point out all the things he did wrong? Because Brian almost got us in a war with 2 other countries. So is Brian really wanting to play this game? Because I can play this game with Brian if he wants.
He did say when you sent that message to him, he did mention that was the UN's kind of resolution that we followed. So what he did was actually following the UN, whereas you didn't want to go to war, which
what he did was poorly communicate and try to intercede when it was not his business. He tried to interfere with international relations, and he's actually really lucky that we didn't charge him with a number of crimes for interfering, where he literally he intercepted intelligence information that he was not supposed to have and used that for his own political advantage.
Yes.
And I don't think he really wants that to come out. You know what I'm saying? He should probably just enjoy his popularity right now while he has it, because he's going to mess it up somehow.
To be honest, he came along when you said about the poorly communicate stuff, and he said you poorly communicated to your heavy Ajax to beat up 1,300 innocent workers, and you laid off another 1,000.
Pretty clearly, and the written.
So you did tell Ajax.
No, I said to get them new jobs. That's written down. There are memos. There are eyewitnesses. Ajax took matters into his own hands, much like Brian did when he told us to just go attack Switzerland. And so it seems to me that what Brian's attempting to do is draw a comparison between himself and Ajax. And while that's an interesting political strategy, I would discourage him from it. But, it's a free country and he's allowed to do that if he so chooses. In fact, if that's what he likes to do, it's not in the way of Naboo for me to just go after somebody for something that they like. So he's welcome to do that. I would be lying if I said I had great expectations for how it was going to go. But,
I would stay on the whole great expectations stuff again, and the Bookgate that he's going to bring up. But Paul is after knocking on the door.
Oh,
hey, Paul. Hey, Paul. I mean, hey, me. Hey, you. M.C.P.
Hey, guy.
Listen, I'm a straight shooter. You know that.
Yeah.
Turns out there's a minus sign.
That's bad news, Paul.
Yeah, honestly, I thought it was an equal sign.
I don't know how you messed that up.
Hey, what can I say?
Pretty important.
What can I say?
Yeah.
So it turns out we didn't have over 2 trillion in surplus. We had minus 2 trillion.
Minus 2 trillion.
So yeah, we're bankrupt. The IMF are underway. They just rang me. We need money fast. So they were asking me, what plan have you got to raise money quick?
Well, the first thing we're gonna do is fire you and
Hey,
charge
listen,
you for a number of crimes,
buddy,
Paul.
guy to guy. You know what I mean? What can I say?
Yeah, not much, because you made a lot of mistakes.
Cheers, cheers, M.C.P.
Nope.
Talk to you later.
No,
you're a good guy.
You're going to jail.
You're a good guy. Wait, why am I in jail?
Lied. Because you lied.
I didn't lie. Made a mistake. What can I say?
Oh, that's actually worse.
You made a mistake.
Paul,
how come you're not in jail?
I made a mistake.
You made a mistake.
What mistake did I make?
Hey, what can I say? You were talking about Ajax.
What mistake did I make?
Ajax.
What mistake did I make involving Ajax?
You sent him down there to the streets.
To do what? What did memos, what did my written communications tell Ajax to do?
Well, according to the Senate.
And I am tired of the lazy narrative that ignores reality that I had anything to do with Ajax's extraordinary lack of judgment and propensity toward violence, and I am sick of it, Paul. Now you need to answer for your own actions. You thought a minus sign was an equal sign, which is a $4 trillion swing. That is a lot of money. What are we going to do about it? Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah.
Well, first we're going to fire you, Paul.
Okay. Well, what will I tell the IMF after
that? First of all, oops.
Oops, okay.
The initial statement.
Right.
Oops, we did it again.
Yeah.
Except this is our first time, and it won't happen again.
Right.
Obviously. But the first thing that we're going to do is go ahead and license images of our island to Disney for use of promoting Naboo. Since they lost their initial lawsuit, we will let them buy the license to kind of advertise with images of us without having to pay us for each one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're going to pay us a cool like $50 billion a year for that.
So Paul just knocked on the door there to say that he was actually onto Disney. They rang him and they were saying that they were pulling any future filming out of Naboo if we didn't let them do that, let them have the rights. So, I mean, they're already suggesting, well, if you don't do it, then we're not filming there. And your country is quite, deep into the film industry.
But I mean, more companies film than just them. So.
Oh yeah.
So I think we're fine. Like A24 can give us a lot of money.
Can hold up. So are we just going to say no? We're cutting off Disney?
I don't think we need to do that. I think we just said we were going to license it to them. I mean,
but they're like, no, you're
free. Basically,
they're saying they don't want the license. They just want the rights.
Well, the answer to that is no, you can't.
Okay, yeah.
That's not how the law works. And so if they want to do that, we can kind of negotiate. But if they just say, no, we're not doing it, then that's sort of what it is. I mean, they can't just decide what the law is, unfortunately.
So
or rather fortunately for us, I guess. But as it regards to the $2 trillion, I think we have a lot of wonderful resources here, and we'll just continue to increase our tourism aspect of things.
Yes.
Which is really important. And of course, all the tourists are well aware of our guidelines, what is required on the island. But that 2 trillion, like, we're going to make that up pretty quickly. I think we're maybe underestimating, due to Paul's terrible accounting, how quickly we can make up that ground. I mean, if it was feasible that we had a $2 trillion surplus, then I think it's pretty feasible that we can make up 4 trillion over the next, 30 years or whatever. We don't have to go.
Right. I get you. Yeah. I mean,
you're saying we're crazy. The US is like 40 trillion in debt. So, I mean, we're not even that bad.
Oh yeah. So we can tell the IMF, don't worry about it. We're just increasing production of stuff, and tourism is flying. Are we putting Paul out in the street with the leave situation, or?
Well, I mean, after he serves his jail time.
Oh, how long is he in jail for?
Like a year.
So Paul's in jail for a year, and then you're out in the street.
I mean, he can get a job. Like, I'm sure there's companies that need an accountant. It's not like he's wildly inept. That's just a huge mistake to make that led to a lot of jobs lost and stuff like that, and he had to be accountable for it.
Brian is after hiring him as an accountant, so yeah.
That's good.
For the Pantheon.
Yeah, that's great.
So
I mean, not stellar, but Brian, it's up to Brian to make those choices, and he'll have to live with the political consequences of that.
I do have 2 questions left for you.
Okay.
One is Captain Adam has come along. He
brings good news this
time. A very dark day, to be honest. He had to go into the Pantheon. So apparently there was a coup attempt being orchestrated. He's after arresting 70 people in the Senate.
70 members of the Pantheon?
Yeah,
if they'd just gotten 5 more, they could have just called me to a town hall and I would have had to answer for it there.
Oh no, but I mean they were plotting murder.
Right. I mean that's just laziness. But
right.
Anyway.
So yeah, no, he's the great Nissan Leaf bullying a crime. Yeah, he's caught up with that. Turned out it was the senators who were at it. Same thing with old Fred. His mistake. So yeah, he has all them locked up.
Did they kill Fred?
Oh no, Fred was 108. I mean, he just
died. Okay.
I mean, yeah, I feel really bad for Fred. I'll try not to keep this. This will not be a regular occurrence for Fred.
Thanks for bringing him back up.
Right. Yeah, no, so Captain Adam has the 70 of them locked up in a cell beside Ajax. He's just wondering what the hell is he going to do with him,
That's a fair question. Obviously it's tough. We're going to have to talk with the chief Capricorn, Joanna.
That's Brian's wife, yes.
Well, sure. Yeah. But she has a responsibility to the nation.
Yeah.
That she's pledged, and she's assured me she had no knowledge of what occurred. And in fact, she's pushing for life sentences for everybody, including Brian.
Right, but what we noticed inside in the Capricorn's court was that when they all voted, the 4 of them who are good friends, they all voted for acquittal, saying nothing done wrong here. Joanne said, "Oh, life sentences," but kind of did it in a kind of a ha 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 jokey way. So it was 4-1, and she's like, "Oh damn, I guess I lost." And then she gave Brian an old kiss. So yeah, I guess are we letting them out? The court seem to.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. In a democracy, things aren't always going to go the way you want. And as much as I would have liked to have seen the 70 people that publicly admitted to attempting to murder me, have to deal with that.
Yes.
The results are clear, and I look forward to seeing them at my birthday party this year.
Oh, they're coming to the brownie festival.
Yeah, they're invited.
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
And you know what? The political consequences, I think, are going to be pretty severe for them. And if they aren't, if people are cool with them attempting to murder me, well, then maybe I just deserve to die at that point. But I don't feel like I do. And as you'll see, my poll results also don't seem to indicate that people think I should die.
Paul did handle the poll results, and yeah.
Well, there's no subtracting with that.
Well, he thought it said 77, but then it said 11.
11, disapprove. So that's good.
Yeah.
So that makes up. That's approximately the number of senators that attempted to murder me.
Captain Adam is coming along again. He does have a bit of good news. He thought this might cheer you up.
Good.
He has
40 minutes from Adam.
He has CCTV footage of the jail when he was letting them out. So as I said, the 70 senators were in the cell right beside Ajax. So when he was letting them out, they all had to walk past him.
All 70 of them were in the one. Yeah.
So the CCTV camera actually has footage of Ajax just sitting in a cell watching 70 senators who openly stated, "We tried to murder the M.C.P." What was it? Oh my God, I've done 2 pages. The most celebrated pomp. Yeah, so you can just see the single tear. Well, no, screw it. Many tears on Ajax's face. So that he thought that might cheer you up.
That's great to hear. I mean,
he has been punching
for them all to maybe spend a bit more time in jail, but this is a close consolation prize.
Yeah, and we will put that out publicly. Ajax's unhappy face is a close consolation prize.
Yeah.
Consolation prize. Lovely. So the final question is something I asked to Celine when she did her episode. With your administration, like I think it's fair to say that it wasn't really focused on foreign policy, right?
Right.
I mean, you did when things came up, you dealt with them, but you seem to be very focused on like environmental issues and making sure democracy was intact. Do you think like do you think you did that pretty successfully?
Well, I don't think I was elected the M.C.P of the world. I'm the M.C.P of Naboo,
right?
Of the magnificent sanctuary of the Naboo, and no, not magnificent. What is it?
Oh, it was most magnificent sanctuary, yeah.
So I think that's my job, is to keep our wonderful little island happy and thriving, and to keep all of my citizens, whether they be leaf sweepers or brownie bakers or God forbid Brian, to keep them happy and satisfied.
Senator Brian. I presume they all go back to the Pantheon.
Well,
they were all re-voted.
Yeah, but I'm gonna call him Brian.
Oh, okay, just as a little dig.
I don't really see it as a dig. I see him as an old friend. And I think we're on that level of friendship. And
that sounds kind of a bit like a thawing of hostility, or a semi-thaw.
Maybe to him, but I'm pretty forgiving. I'm a pretty forgiving nature. I bear him no ill will. I never did. If he felt like I did, it's largely because he didn't want to face the consequences of his own actions and his own mistakes and deal with that. And I think it would appear that being a leaf sweeper was good for him and has motivated him to serve the people. And minus the murder aspect, I feel like he's done that, whether or not he and I agree. He's done that with that intention. Again, minus the murder bit, that was not great from him. But as far as I try to keep our island going, and I think this is the only planet we have, and so the environment is very important, and we try to be a leader in the world in that. And we have a lot of young children that dream of making leaves. Something incredible one day, that dream of leaves, and that's what it's great to have the film industry here, is to give them a head start in that. And I think we've done a good job of doing that. Not to give myself brownie points, but I think we've got a really nice island here.
But before I leave Brian, who seems to be back in the Senate working away happy, and a little bit less hostile towards you and your administration, I will say that Captain Adam, when he's in his office and he's writing out his report, I mean, he does that thing where he realizes something and then puts two and two together. And he does realize that Brian's sudden fortune that he somehow turned up with before becoming a senator, it probably came from importing Nissan leaves. So it's probably him doing all that as a long-term plan to get back into the Senate on a populist wave and everything else. But he figures, we're all doing fine in Naboo, and he just tosses it aside. Anyway, after your administration, at some point, I assume you're going to decide, my time's up, done a good job, it's time to hand it over. Lauren just kind of called everyone and said, look, we have to all go over to either your office or your home, stand outside. You have to come out on the balcony or wherever you want and make an announcement on who becomes your heir, and I suppose what speech you give to announce their ascendancy. So it just has to be someone who is alive. Can't be
can't be Fred.
Unfortunately not.
Real shame.
Yeah. He was most certainly in line as the favorite.
He was my oldest child.
Yeah.
He felt like it anyway.
Paul does point out,
my youngest dad.
Paul does point out that he would be your oldest child by minus 70 years.
Yeah, by quite a bit.
80.
90, 108. 90. Yeah, he'd be a good 80, 81 years.
Minus 81 on you.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's up there. So
everyone is outside. Brian's outside.
The first thing I do is I would remind our esteemed friend Brian, in private, certainly not in public. As much as Captain Adam may have thought that was not worth acknowledging, some of us disagreed. And although we don't see the need to publicize that as the issue has been taken care of, we would encourage him to be content with where he is, and
Love it.
to do his best to serve Naboo.
Honestly, Brian has taken that as if I am definitely in line for the throne. That sounds like I am being made heir. I've
well,
built myself
Brian's
up.
always been an interesting listener.
Yeah. By the way, are we letting Ajax out to hear this speech?
No.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely not.
Right.
So Brian is free to think that this is a democracy, so people will be electing the next M.C.P. My speech, I try to stay out of things, but I would like to acknowledge my transportation secretary, who did such a good job of keeping the Nissan Leafs off the streets, who's provided wonderful bike paths and walking paths, and coordinates all the flights in and out, and is helping actually develop one of our new industries here on Naboo, which is electric and green friendly planes.
So
we're actually working on eliminating the need for fuel for planes and for flights, and it's very exciting. It's an exciting time to be a part of what's happening here on Naboo, and I look forward to helping with that more in my private life after leaving office. But anyway, my transportation secretary, Sharina, I think she has just been incredible, and I think that Naboo would do very, very well with Sharina at the head of it, and anybody else that I think it's time for new faces in government and people that have been a part of the goings on of the last few years. I think maybe the people are a little bit tired of that and need new voices, and she has just been quietly working away and plugging away and making incremental changes that will reverberate through the generations.
So Sharina, we are saying, or what the people are hearing is, first of all, we're going to have full democracy. You're choosing your next M.C.P. You are just saying, I'm not telling you who to vote for. Sharina has all these reasons why she's completely qualified.
I'll be voting for her.
Yes, and as your popularity, I think, was it 77% approve? I'm
up to
at least in the 80s.
Up to 96 now.
Oh, okay, 96. I mean, so many people went, he did a good job, and he is talking about this Sharina woman. They didn't know much about her.
I invented a new brownie, which
just on the way out.
Difference. Yeah, I was just pulling around at home.
Oh, cool.
It was very exciting.
Are you going to move into that industry and just patter away at that?
I think I'm going to stick with my film stuff.
Okay.
I'm going to go back into that sector and continue to help that industry grow here on Naboo.
Might get your big character or big
my
part
big
in
Star Wars break. Now that the world has been reminded of my talents via the Paddington franchise.
All the citizens, like I said, they were, they went to the polls, just to let you know, because they didn't know Sharina very well. Now, that's not to say they didn't like her or she did a bad job. I guess she did such a good job, they didn't know her, that sort of way.
Sure.
Yeah, you don't need to know if nobody's complaining about transport. Unfortunately, she was going up against Brian because, of course he was going for it. She was doing really well in the polls. Unfortunately, Brian started pointing out that all these electric planes and stuff are going to blow so many leaves around everyone. And there was an incident where he showed it on TV at a brownie festival, and everyone got leaves into their brownies, weren't very happy, all into the bakery products. So there was a 78-point swing. Brian probably will win the election. Are you staying on the country, or are you staying in Naboo, or are you moving?
I'll certainly stay. I think it would be very inconvenient for Brian were someone to point out another transportation incident at a festival a number of years ago, wherein a diesel truck was involved, and whoever was involved in that diesel truck incident, that would
he said Ajax.
Bad news.
Yeah, he's blamed Ajax for that.
Oh, well, we have proof that it was not. And again, this is all just in a private meeting in my last days in office. But I would casually remind Brian that it would be wise of him to be content in his current office and to not seek anything higher. And should he desire so to do, it would be a real shame if that information were to get leaked the day before early voting and mail voting began.
Right.
Which will happen.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it's so funny because most people are like, oh, who's going to be your heir? And as one person went, oh, my cat. And I was like, oh, great. Okay, thanks very much. Yeah. Whereas this could get into like a battle of wits. for the next hour. So what we might say is that as the election is coming up, I mean, Brian may decide that it's worth to take the hit to just kind of say, look how the former M.C.P is trying to throw the election in Shrina's way, etc., etc., etc. So as we go into election, it's probably going to be about 50-50. It's a toss-up, you don't know. But you're going to stay on the island and assume people will vote for Shrina.
Yeah.
And then once you're gone, you're out of there. You're one of the few people who do say, oh, well, they're going to have an election and I'll stay on until the election's sorted. Some people do literally just go, here's my heir, and run.
Right.
So, yeah, I think overall, you've had a fairly stable, certainly domestically, there's a lot of turmoil, not necessarily from your creation.
Right. Fairly low drama minus the coup attempt.
Yeah. And the Ajax episode.
That was kind of removed from the government. That was just kind of like one man that made a series of bad decisions.
But that tried to snowball.
Brian's attempts to kind of prove otherwise. I guess now would also be a bad time for me to remind everyone that Ajax is Brian's brother.
Yes, that probably would be a bad time. Yes,
that would be terribly inconvenient for Brian.
It's amazing how Brian's brother, I mean, that whole family was involved in the government, even his wife being the highest judge in the land. And
yeah. I mean, it runs in the family sometimes, and it's a good family. Brian's a good man, minus Ajax, of course.
The real pity is Brian, of course, is the best friend of Kathleen Kennedy.
That's not a real pity. I mean, it's
Oh, it's a pity for the chances of the Star Wars acting, I mean.
Well, that would be my last statement before the election, I think, is it sounds like with Brian's connections there, if Star Wars wanted to be here, they could be. And maybe it's Brian's not exerting himself fully to attempt to keep work coming here, because we're huge Star Wars fans. And
Brian said, yeah, if elect me M.C.P and I'll do it. And yeah, that's after giving him a boost.
It sounds like Brian is not working at the moment to help the island. He's only interested in advancing himself. If he could do it right now, then he should. And that's what those people that are waiting for jobs.
Yeah.
You're going to do it right now?
Right now.
Then why haven't you been doing it for the last few years?
Because I was busy cleaning up the streets with leaves.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was. It's on tape. Have it on tape. Have it on tape there.
You've been running for office and you've been a senator. Your job has been to bring jobs to this island, and you
for the people that you beat up.
For the people that Ajax, your brother, beat up, as I recall.
That you hired. He was your guy, not my guy.
I did not. I hired Ajax. Ajax was elected.
No. As your goon? No. As your heavy?
He was not my goon.
He was your goon.
No, he's the head of government security, who, by the way, is elected by the Pantheon.
Oh, I wasn't in government by that point, though. That was Fred. Your guy, Fred.
Yeah, Fred. Fred actually voted against him. He was the only vote against Ajax.
Yeah, we're not putting anything against Fred.
No, never.
Yeah, no, I won't start slandering Fred. Okay.
I'll not have it.
So M.C.P of Naboo, most what was it? Majestic. Oh, I've screwed it out. Most magnificent sanctuary of Naboo.
Yeah.
Kind of the official name, I guess. Yeah, that is pretty much your time as ruling your own island. I haven't written down a list of like which country has gone really well and which has gone very bad. I think it's a little bit rocky, if I'm honest.
It didn't go great.
I really like the start of it, where when you went on TV to address the scandal, you did quickly, I mean, I didn't even mention Brian. You quickly brought up this guy called Brian and slaughtered him off camera. But other than that, yeah, it sounded pretty good. Like, it sounded 80% Forest Parks. Can't complain.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah. It's a nation is more than just one ruler.
So cool. That is, I keep saying this, and at some point I hopefully will have an outro, but I don't have like a little. And now that's the end of it. Goodbye.
Right.
Do you want to plug the YouTube channel again, or any other social media?
Yeah, sure. You can follow me on any social media at Cedric Gegel, CEDRICGEGEL. I'm the only me, so I'm very easy to find. I'm on pretty much every social media. I'm on YouTube under that name as well. I'm very easy to find there. You can keep up on, I'm working a lot lately as far as acting. I've kind of been putting screenwriter aside. I've been shooting a bunch of films lately, so you can keep up with everything as it's coming out over the next few months. And some of my projects that I'm working on getting made as a director and as a writer. All that information is always there. I've got a movie that's coming out today that I'm in. called
nice.
Walking On. Yeah, so it's probably been out for a bit by the time you listen to this, but it's called Walking On. It's available on Prime and iTunes. It's a terrific indie film about basketball that we shot down in Philly before the pandemic. And there's a film forbearance that I wrote in, and then I wrote the film, and then the producers asked me to be in it, which was cool.
Nice.
So that's coming out in 2022. I don't know what date yet. Window with a View, a horror film I did, should be coming out next year. A film I just shot that I'm not allowed to say the name of yet.
Yes.
I'm hoping will come out next year, but whenever that one's ready. And my own film, Kadia the World Within, which is a family fantasy indie film starring Corbin Burnson, who's a 2-time Emmy and Golden Globe nominee, and James Phelps, who played Fred Weasley in the Harry Potter films. That came out last year in the United States and is coming out soon in some other countries. So we'll be announcing that pretty soon. And that's available on Prime and Vudu in the US and other territories very soon. So keep an eye out for all those things and check them out.
And yeah, that's probably why you needed a Pantheon, because you're busy. You're a busy film industry to look after.
Correct.
Cool. All right. Thanks everyone for listening to the Tyrants in Training podcast. If you could please like or subscribe or write a review. Apparently that's what that's a good thing to do. That would really help me out. And yeah, I'll be back with another episode hopefully next week. And goodbye.